You've probably heard the name Rothschild. It often comes up in conversations about wealth, power, and secret influence. But where does the history end and the myth begin? Let's separate the facts from the fiction. It all starts not in a palace, but in a crowded, walled-off district in 18th century Frankfurt called the Judengasse, or Jews' Alley. In this cramped quarter, a red shield, or Rothschild in German, hung above a narrow doorway. This simple sign would give its name to one of the most influential banking families in European history. Their story is not one of secret meetings or hidden empires. It's a story of discipline, brilliant strategy, and an incredible understanding of finance during a time when Europe was almost constantly at war. The founder of this dynasty was Meyer Amschel Rothschild. Welcome to Behind the Money. We're here to decode the financial world, revealing the stories, the systems, and the power plays that define our modern era. If you've ever wondered about the real story behind wealth and influence, you're in the right place. Subscribe now, and let's uncover these secrets together. You'll never look at money the same way again. Born in 1744, his early career was far from glamorous. He was a dealer in rare coins and metals. This work was precise and required deep knowledge, but most importantly, it required trust. Through this trade, he carefully studied currency, history, and the value of precious metals. One of his clients was Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, one of the wealthiest rulers in Europe. This relationship became the launchpad for everything that followed. As the Napoleonic Wars swept across Europe, creating chaos and toppling old orders, vast fortunes needed to be protected, moved, and managed discreetly. This is where Meyer Amschel Rothschild made a truly revolutionary move. Instead of keeping his business in Frankfurt, he sent his 5 sons to establish banking houses in the 5 key financial centers of Europe: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and back home in Frankfurt. Think about that for a moment. 5 brothers, 5 major cities, 1 coordinated network. This was long before the telegraph, the telephone, or the internet. Information traveled at the speed of a horse. Financial decisions that we make in seconds could take weeks to coordinate. But the Rothschild brothers built a communication system based on family loyalty and absolute trust, giving them an incredible advantage. This network allowed them to move money across borders with stunning efficiency, right in the middle of one of the most unstable periods in modern history. Wars, as you know, are incredibly expensive. Armies need to be paid, supplies need to be bought, and governments need credit to fund it all. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschild banking houses specialized in facilitating huge financial transfers between allied governments. They became masters of government bonds, raising massive sums for states in exchange for future repayment with interest. Now, they weren't the only ones doing this. But what set the Rothschilds apart was their international coordination. While their competitors operated largely within one country, the Rothschilds thought on a continental scale. By the early 19th century, their reputation for reliability was unmatched. Their financial influence expanded beyond war financing. They funded the construction of railways that crisscrossed Europe, financed major mining operations, and backed huge infrastructure projects like the Suez Canal. As the Industrial Revolution accelerated, capital was the fuel, and the Rothschilds were among the key financiers powering that incredible growth. Of course, this level of success brought immense visibility. And with visibility came scrutiny, speculation, and exaggeration. Because they were a prominent Jewish family operating at the highest levels of European finance, they became a natural target for conspiracy theories. In times of economic panic or political tension, it's always easier to blame a powerful, visible group than to understand complex systems. Over time, the stories spun about the Rothschilds became far more dramatic than the historical record supports. Some narratives painted them as puppet masters with limitless power, secretly controlling governments and starting wars for profit. These sensational tales almost always ignored the reality of the market. The financial world was fiercely competitive, filled with powerful rival banking families and institutions. all vying for influence. Historical evidence shows that the Rothschilds were extraordinarily successful and influential financiers. It does not support the idea that they secretly controlled the world or operated outside the law. In fact, like any major business, they operated within complex political systems. They were subject to national regulations, they paid taxes, and at times, especially as a Jewish family, they faced persecution and political threats. Their success was publicly recognized. During the 19th century, members of the family were granted noble titles by the governments of Austria and Britain in recognition of their enormous services to the state. Their wealth allowed them to become some of the greatest philanthropists of the era. Philanthropy became a central part of the family's legacy. They funded hospitals, schools, scientific research, and housing for the poor. They supported the arts and helped establish cultural institutions that we still enjoy today. In London, they backed public health projects. In France and Austria, they were major patrons of education and art. Their influence was significant, but it existed within the framework of national economies, not above them. Then came the 20th century, which brought devastating change. 2 world wars completely reshaped Europe. The rise of Nazism and other extremist regimes posed a grave existential threat to Jewish families across the continent. When the Nazis annexed Austria, the Rothschild family's assets there were seized, and family members were forced to flee for their lives. The turbulence of global conflict, combined with the rise of modern central banking, completely altered the financial landscape. The era of the family-run banking dynasty began to fade. Central banks expanded their authority, and massive, publicly traded corporations and investment banks became the dominant forces in global finance. The Rothschild banking houses had to adapt to survive. They merged, restructured, and evolved. Today, Rothschild & Co. operates as a global financial advisory firm, offering services in investment banking and wealth management. It is one respected firm among many in a vast, decentralized, and intensely competitive global financial system. No single family, no matter how wealthy, directs the course of this multi-trillion-dollar world. So why does the Rothschild name still spark so much fascination and conspiracy? Part of the answer is timing. They rose to prominence during one of the most dramatic periods in human history, an era of revolution, empire building, and industrial transformation. Their cross-border family structure was genuinely innovative. Their success was huge and very visible. Their story has all the ingredients of a legend. Humble beginnings, ambition, incredible strategy, and survival against the odds. Another reason lies in our own psychology. Financial systems are complicated. Sovereign debt, bond markets, currency swaps, these are abstract concepts that are hard to visualize. When systems are complex, our minds crave simple narratives to make sense of them. It's easier to imagine a few powerful individuals pulling the strings than to grasp the vast impersonal forces that truly shape our economies. The Rothschilds became a symbol, but real history is rarely driven by a single family. It's shaped by vast networks, competing institutions, governments, and the decisions of millions of people, all interacting over time. The documented history of the Rothschild family is more than compelling enough without any need for embellishment. From a constrained life in Frankfurt-Sess Jewish Quarter to building one of Europe's most powerful banking networks, their story is one of incredible discipline, strategic genius, and a remarkable ability to adapt to a changing world. They navigated war, political chaos, and deep-seated prejudice to build their legacy. And like all great historical dynasties, their influence evolved as the world changed around them. The real story isn't one of hidden domination. It's a story of financial innovation during a pivotal moment in history. That red shield above a small doorway in Frankfurt became a symbol recognized across the world, not because of myth, but because of timing, strategy, and an unmatched ability to move capital when the world needed it most. And sometimes the truth is far more fascinating than any legend. Thanks for watching. If you found this look at history interesting, Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.